What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Breaking and Entering podcast. Week 6 is over with. We got a head coach has been fired already. Let's get into this show, though, man. Brandon, how we doing today?
Uh, Another non-victory Monday, Tuesday, early start to the week, but like my grandmother used to say, keep on keeping on. That's all we could do. How about
Yeah,
yourself?
facts. Yeah, same. I'm hanging in there. Tough loss. We'll get into it though. Lord
For
have
sure.
mercy.
For sure. All right, let's take a look at the opening drive, everyone. Brian Callahan, as Ed mentioned, he's the first head coach to be let go. He was a Titans coach, 1-5 start of the season, to the season only in his second season there in Tennessee. He is now gone. Mike McCoy, the former Chargers head coach, is serving as interim head coach now. Lions defensive back Brian Branch, he's been suspended a game after he struck Juju Smith Schuster following the Lions Chiefs game. Sunday Night Football, that was. Edge rusher Darius Smith, he's decided to retire. He spent time with the Ravens, Packers, Vikings, Browns, Lions, and most recently the Eagles. Signed, I believe, just a couple months ago, or maybe a month ago, give or take. 49ers linebacker Fred Warner, he's out for the season with a dislocated and broken right ankle. Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson, he's going to miss some time after suffering an orbital fracture in pregame warmups last Sunday. The Colts did go on to beat the Cardinals by 6 with Daniel Jones under center, and the Ravens have released cornerback C.J. Gardner Johnson. Any thoughts on the opening drive, Ed, before we turn the page into these games?
Yeah, I was kind of shocked of the firing of Brian Callahan. Thought it would happen a little later in the season, so just shocked by how sudden I guess it was and early in the season it was. I got to give a shout out to Brian Branch. I know you shouldn't do what he did, and he's getting suspended and blah blah blah. But salute to you, my man. I like it. I like it when there's how should I put this? I don't want to say bad sportsmanship, but keeping it real. Like sometimes I see stuff like showing love after the game. It's like, oh, come on, man. Like you can tell it's like kind of like fake in a sense. Keep it real, man. Juju Smith Schuster, gave him a little shiver towards the end of the game. I think it was about 3 minutes left in this game. And Brian Branch remembered it. He couldn't get his get back during the game. So after the game, he saw Juju Smith Schuster hit him right in the. He had his helmet on. Juju went after him, and then Brian proceeded to beat the brakes off of him a little bit. There's pictures, stills of Brian basically getting held back from doing some more damage to him. Then Juju Smith had a bloody nose and everything like that. He didn't shake Patrick Mahomes' hand, even Brian Branch. So salute to Brian Branch, man. Keep it real. I know he got suspended. You shouldn't do that. Things like that. Blah blah blah. I think the coach Dan Campbell was like, I liked it. I don't want to get his words wrong, but he basically didn't condone it. But at the same time, he understood it. So salute to Brian Branch. Definitely, I appreciated that. And I don't got nothing against the Chiefs. Brandon might be a different story, but I just like seeing that. I do.
Um, I'm glad we're on the same page with this one. Not because it's the Chiefs. Yes, I am a big time hater of the Chiefs, but we know Juju Smith Schuster has been one of those guys over the years that has jabbed and done stupid stuff. He danced on I believe, the Browns or Bengals logo a while back when he was with the Steelers. So when I saw this happen, I was like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. Of all players on the Chiefs roster, for him to, for that to happen to, it makes sense. I didn't see much of this game. I didn't see the point that you was talking about, late in the game of what happened between them two. But yeah, kudos to Brian Branch, and Brian Branch is a good guy. Um, he's been one of my favorite players coming
Hell
out of
of a player.
Alabama. Yeah, and I'm not a big Alabama fan, but he's been one of my favorite players coming out of there. So again, good for him. I'm not sure how I would feel about that if that was one of my players, but just because he's going to miss the upcoming game, but they've been without him before, and they performed well last year when he was in and out of the lineup. So I'm sure they can take one game despite the loss Sunday night there in Kansas City. All right, everyone, let's go to Indianapolis, where the Colts remain undefeated at home, and they're now 5-1 overall after a big win over the Cardinals. Ed, break this one down, please.
Yeah, man, I got a question with the Colts. Are they legit? I'm starting to believe they are 5-1. The Cardinals were without Kyler Murray. Marvin Harrison left this game early with a concussion. You could kind of call this a trap game if you will, but the Colts found a way to win the game. Um, they got a top three running back, in my opinion, with Jonathan Taylor. Tyler Warren, in my opinion, is in the running for Offensive Rookie of the Year, especially with Egbuka probably going to miss time with, I think he's dealing with a hamstring injury. Tyler Warren scored a touchdown a day. He's been very, very efficient so far this year in his rookie year. And Daniel Jones, man, keeps finding ways to win the games. He did turn the ball over. He had a pick, but unfortunately, I say unfortunately, but Jacoby Brissett, he threw the ball right back to the Colts. I think that was early in the first half, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, man, Colts keep finding ways to win games. Jonathan Taylor had another big day. This is the next thing I'm going to say is strictly fantasy. But God damn it, Daniel Jones stole another touchdown from Jonathan Taylor at the goal line when Daniel Jones rushed it in for a touchdown. He kind of pissed me off that because I got Jonathan Taylor on my fantasy team. But good win for the Colts. I was kind of surprised about this score, but I mean, it does kind of make sense. You prepare for one guy, and then he's out, and then the backup comes in. He's different kind of style of play than Kyler Murray, and he was able to make some things happen, but unfortunately, he came up short in Jacoby Brissett and the Cardinals. Um, like I said it last week, I'm done with the Cardinals. This think they're just falling more and more down a hole. Now Kyler's out. I don't know how long he's going to be out. I think he's dealing with some type of foot issue, if I'm not mistaken. But Colts, in my opinion, they are legit. Daniel Jones has led a team to the playoffs before. I think he's only done it once, and that time he had Saquon Barkley. Jonathan Taylor is right up there with him, in my opinion, right now. So I'm going to be interested to see how the Colts look going forward. This AFC South might, besides the Titans, you got the Jaguars and the Texans might be heating up in the end because we'll see how the Texans do. But the Jaguars, even though they lost, certainly a team in the mix too. But Colts definitely legit in my opinion. Brandon, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I got to give credit to number 17 of the Colts, Daniel Jones, as we talk about another good game for the quarterback. He's making plays in the pass game and the run game. Repeatedly was hitting his tight end. You mentioned the guy that's probably going to be in the running for offensive rookie of the year, Tyler Warren. He also spreaded the ball out to six other guys. And when he needed to, as I mentioned, he kept the ball and ran 5 times for 20 yards. Didn't, not a big stat line, but um, it was enough to help the team win. The second quarter touchdown um, on the 87-yard drive as well. Um, I said in the preview game, either Arizona was going to either get blown out because the Colts have been beating people pretty good, especially at home, or they was going to lose in a heartbreaker. And I think this one was more of a heartbreaker. Kyler Murray, as you mentioned, was out. This one, Arizona blew a fourth quarter lead for the second straight week. It seems like it's something that's been more than that. Um, you could say that Trey McBride was held in the end zone on that final play, but this is what we've seen with Arizona late game miscues. Um, so yeah, Davis Ward, he was out pregame, had a little concussion. He ran into, I believe, one of his own teammates there warming up. So I kind of thought that would impact the Colts, but it really didn't. He'd been playing pretty good there for that Indianapolis secondary. So yeah, I guess as hard as it is for me to accept, I gotta give more respect to the Colts. Another great win for the Indianapolis team. I can't stand them either. Everyone.
All right. Okay. Before we get started with the next recap, this episode is brought to you by Premium, a CBD and health and wellness company. Check out their full line of CBD infused products, which are perfect after workout refuel for athletes, a pain reliever for weekend warriors, and even a natural sports drink for us armchair quarterbacks. Their featured product is CBD infused honey, which is a personal favorite of mine, as well as mint. Tinctures and mint and natural flavors. They are veteran, women, and minority owned. So come get some of this sweet hempitation and taste the premium difference. Use code B and E for 15% off your order. Their website is Prehemium.com. And now let's get back to our show. Chargers in a shootout thriller with the damn Dolphins. Brandon, what were your thoughts of this game?
Yeah, man. How about this Los Angeles Chargers team? They had dropped two straight games against NFC East teams, including yours, and they had me thinking, could they beat anybody outside the division? But they answered that call on Sunday against the lonely Dolphins. I know everyone, but they got the W. That's all that counts. I think that what surprised me the most about this offense is how they're attacking teams through the air. Um, I really thought that they was going to run the ball down the throats of the Miami defense, but Herbert was distributing the ball. Whoever got open, he was making sure that the ball got there. Lad McConkey, he had two clutch catches. He had one on the short touchdown crossing route. He got away from two defenders on the play, and then the other one inside 30 seconds, he made the defender miss, sprinted into field goal position to set up his kicker. And I think Herbert made a big play on that one as well to connect with Lad McConkey on that play. And then let me not forget about the running back, Kamani Vidal, however you pronounce his name. Sorry if I butchered it. Guy that I hadn't really heard about heading into this game. Number 30, had a monster game, 18 carries, 124 yards, averaging 7 yards a pop. Had that big touchdown catch as well. That's a good way to get your name up on the depth chart in the absence of Najee Harris out there. Um, so yeah, it seemed like the Dolphins were going to make a little something out of this one, especially when A-Chain popped that 49-yard touchdown run, got the crowd back into it. But it was the turnovers that ultimately costed them the game. That last play, to toss the pick to Derwin James, sealed the victory. Um, I know there's been some rumors all summer and even into the season about the leadership there in Miami. And now you had after the game, Tua called out his teammates for showing up late for players only meetings. He said some of them didn't even show up at all. Um, they say that Jalen Ramsey, the former Dolphin, he was an offender. Tyreek Hill was one of them as well. And then he also mentioned the leadership as well. That's how he started this whole comment, answering a question from the media after the game. So it looks like Mike McDaniel still has a job as of Tuesday, October 14th. I'm not sure how much longer if they keep losing at this rate. Ed, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike McDaniels. That seat is steaming, especially when you keep having to deal with Tua and his comments. You got to, explain those and think what he meant and stuff like that. Going back to the Chargers, I'm concerned with the Chargers a little bit. They did win this game. They started off 3-0. I thought they were gonna really take over the division. Then they lost two straight, as you mentioned, against my Commanders too. They needed this win, which was good, but that blowing the lead in the fourth quarter to the Dolphins really has me concerned going forward with their defense. So I'm going to be curious to see how that defense looks going forward. But you're right, a win is a win. The Dolphins, they should have beat this team because the Dolphins are just a train wreck right now. Anybody can run the ball on them, as you mentioned. Kamani Vidal, I'm not taking anything away from him, but like you said, 18 carries, 124 yards. He did his thing, and Justin Herbert was clutch as he talked about that last play. He broke two defenders, two defensive linemen. Jalen Phillips was one of them. He had a hold of him and he shook him off and threw it to Lab McConkey. He was able to break a tackle of his own and run down the field, get them in even better field goal range. They were able to run out the clock and kick the field goal. But going forward, I am kind of concerned with the Chargers. I thought this should have been more of an easy win. I guess you could call this a trap game as well, but they didn't fall for the trap fully. They did allow Devin A-Chain to go off. Darren Waller, he got another touchdown. I still think he'll be comeback player of the year, but we'll see how that goes. He only had two catches of 12 yards, but he did get a touchdown. So I still got him as my comeback player of the year. But overall, I'm concerned with the Chargers. That defense, I don't know how they're going to shake out. Harbaugh's got some decisions to make. Hopefully, the offensive line can get healthy. I know they lost a boy for the year early in the year, but hopefully, the offensive line can get healthy and they can get Omarion Hampton back as well later in the season and do some things. But that defense gives me a little pause for concern right now. So see how that goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Panthers. Yes, the Panthers are 3-3 and undefeated at home after a 30-27 win against the Cowboys at Bank of America Stadium. Wow, it want to hear your thoughts about this one.
Yeah, he talked about Rico Dotto and how we should watch out for him last week when I think they were playing the Dolphins. This was a revenge game for him. He got released by the Cowboys. He told them to buckle up. Jerry Jones, usually a guy who speaks after games. Well, he didn't speak after this one. Probably embarrassed by Rico Dowdle in his revenge game and just how the defense has continued to look. I mean, Bryce Young threw for 3 touchdowns. Pretty much all of them were wide open. The rookie wide receiver McMillan, he caught 2. The first one, I mean, he was pretty much all alone. Defenders were like, he was just waiting for the ball to get to him in the end zone. Defenders were running after him. That defense for the Cowboys is one of the worst. One of the worst. I mean, I want to say god awful. They did make a couple of stops, but when they needed to make a stop, they couldn't. Panthers were able to run down the field, run out the clock, and kick the game-winning field goal. Rico Dotto, 30 carries, 183 yards. I'm just going to say right now, he's my offensive player of the week. Back-to-back performances where he had 200 yards plus his scrimmage yards. Had a big catch where he was wide open as well for a touchdown catch from Bryce Young. On Cowboys, I mean, Dak Prescott, he's continuing to put up good numbers. George Pickens, he had a monster game as well. He had a couple of acrobatic catches and nice runs after the catch, but the defense, man, they can't stop anything. The defenders, the players, Matt Eberflus, I think his seat is getting hot. I won't be surprised if Jerry tries to make a move and gets rid of the D coordinator, but it's just bad right now. And how about the Panthers, man? Who would have thought they'd be 3-3 right now? I certainly did not see that coming. They can run the ball. Bryce Young, I mean, only 199 yards passing, but he didn't blow the game. He led them on a game-winning drive, and now they're 500. We'll see how they look going forward. Am I sold on them completely? I don't know. I mean, they're winning games. This is the second week in a row I thought they would lose, and they won. So I need to shut the hell up. They're telling me to shut the hell up and just watch. But yeah, salute to the Panthers, Cowboys. I mean, you got the Commanders next. Lately, y'all been playing us well. So, Lord, Brandon, what are your thoughts on this one?
So yeah, early on it looked like Dallas was going to take control of this game, partly because of Bryce Young and his first half struggles. It's been an issue for him all year, but this time it wasn't his fault. He threw an interception, but McMillan, the rookie tight end, excuse me, the rookie wide receiver, he let the pass slip through his hands. Donovan Wilson picked it off. He returned it down to the Carolina 3. That's what led to Dallas's fullbacks, Hunter Lupke, hope I'm pronouncing that right, hauled in his first career touchdown. McMillan responded with a 19-yard touchdown pass on the ensuing drive. His first of his career. Kudos to both guys for making history in this game. Uh, but Carolina is one of those teams that has struggled against the tight end. Jake Ferguson took advantage of it in the red area, had a 19-yard touchdown pass just before halftime. But overall, the difference in this game, and you spoke a little bit on it, was Carolina's defense could stop the run while Dallas's could not. Dallas had 19 carries for 31 yards. Carolina 38 carries for 216 yards, including 183 by the former Cowboy, as you mentioned, Rico Dotto. Um, George Pickens, he had a career day. Can't take that away from him. Another MVP performance, in my opinion, by Dak Prescott. He's right up there with Baker Mayfield for MVP, but it just wasn't enough for Dallas in the end. Rookie kicker Ryan Fitzgerald. I keep wanting to say Ryan Fitzpatrick, the old quarterback, but Fitzgerald, he hit that field goal from 33 yards to get the W. Um, it is Carolina's first win in the last 3 tries at home against Dallas. Yeah, keep an eye on Carolina. I'm not sold on them 100% either. You all know I was high on Arizona as my NFC team to watch, but this Carolina team, they could make some noise. They got the Jets next week. Checkmate.
All right, let's get to this game. Let's go ahead and get over with. Second of the doubleheader last night. Bears beat the Commanders 25-24. Not only did I have to just watch this game and see us play to level of competition of the Bears, I honestly think the Commanders have a better team overall than the Bears, but I had to listen to goddamn Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on the air, and they were just getting on my nerves the whole damn night. I mean, let's talk about the challenge that my guy Dan Quinn it was about a second and 9. I think it was early in the second half or the first half. And Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are like, well, why would they challenge this call? I mean, it would only be a yard difference. Well, after that, he did get the challenge right, by the way. It was an incomplete pass to the running back, if I'm not mistaken. After that, they went for it on fourth down and they needed a yard. And that yard difference was the challenge. So Joe Buck and Troy Aikman kind of had egg on their face after that. They were talking about it. Just throughout the game, they were kind of pissing me off. They kind of up there with Chris Collinsworth, in my opinion. I really, really wish we had Eli and Peyton doing that. But back to the game. I don't does DeAndre Swift have a vendetta against the Commanders or something? Because every time this guy plays us, he turns into Walter Payton, Gale Sayers, Thomas Jones, if anybody remembers him, Matt Forte, any good, decent running back the Bears had, DeAndre Swift turns into. I'm going to see what he looks like next week because, I mean, we can do nothing with him. We can do a damn thing with DeAndre Swift, man. He only had 14 carries, but every carry looked like it was either a first down or positive, yardage. I mean, I was really, really shocked by that. Then I remembered, oh, well, it's DeAndre Swift. He always does it to us because early in the season, our run defense was pretty much the only thing that was good on the defense. The secondary, the linebackers. Speaking of linebackers, let me give one shout out. Frankie Louvu, he actually made a play last night. He deflected a pass. He deflected a pass on 4th and short. Turned the ball over on downs. He smacked Caleb Williams, had a sack, I want to call it. He smacked him when he was going out of bounds. So shout out to Frankie Louvu. He made a couple of plays. Too bad he couldn't do shit. Not just him, but the whole damn defense couldn't do shit to stop the Bears from scoring that freaking field goal with Jake Moody to win a damn game. I mean, defense, they can't win the games. I've been saying it all year. They're going to keep teams in games, and they're going to lose games. I don't want to put it all on defense because, of course, Jaden Daniels, that was 2 turnovers. He threw the interception, a bad interception. That was a touchdown, just a bad throw. I think it was picked off by Brisker. And then he fumbled the ball at the end. And one thing about that is, it's like Kingsbury in this offense, it's like exclusive in a shotgun formation. It's rare that I see Jaden Daniels behind center. I'm not blaming that on why he fumbled the ball, but sometimes I would just really like to see him go under center and do a play from there. Why does he always have to be? Does he always have to be in shotgun formation? Like, can we, change it up a little bit? I'm kind of getting ticked off by this play calling. It's really starting to piss me off on the offense side of the ball, man. Matt Gay, again, the damn kicker. He's not the reason we lost this game, but again, doink, boom, missed a field goal. We lost by 1 point. If he would have made that field goal, it changes the dynamic of the game. But no, this guy, he makes the routine kicks, but when we need a field goal, when we need one, I'm not expecting him to make it. Honestly, I'm shocked when he makes one field goal. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm shocked when he makes a PAT, and I'm shocked when he makes a field goal. Other than that, if he misses, I'm like, yeah, that's the Matt Gay I know. We need another kicker, man. I'm gonna continue to say that. He can go 15 for 15 the rest of the year and make game winners. I'm not sold on this Matt Gay fella, the kicker at all. Jaden Daniels, one thing I'm concerned about, he's getting hit way too much. They did actually call roughing the pass on him. I was real pissed off by the Brisker hit. I don't care. He got pushed into him. He could have went up a little higher. He hit him right in his damn legs, and Jaden got up lifting a little bit. And there was another roughing the passer early in the game too. But Jaden Daniels is getting hit too much for me, even on the design runs or the scrambles. Lamar Jackson, he it's like a science with him. He runs the ball a lot, but you rarely see him taking a big hit. He knows how to like fall down or like go with the flow of the tackle or something where he's not taking hits the way Jaden Daniels seems to take hits. I'm really concerned about that going forward. I hope we can figure out ways, to just get that done. And I wonder, are we going to play the Bears next season? Because we playing them every damn year like they in our division. I'm trying to figure that out. Are we gonna play them next season, or since the Bears won this one, are we done playing them for a fucking decade or however long it's gonna be to play them? This loss hurt, man. I know what the Bears felt like last year. You lose games like this where you have a chance to win it. The game's pretty much in your hands, and turnovers happen. As this, oh my god, man, I'm sick. I was more sick. It wasn't like mad. You're just sitting there. You're just like, there's a Denzel Washington gift when he played Malcolm X. That's exactly how I was thinking. Where he slams his hand on the damn table, man. That's exactly how I was feeling, man. And there's another gift. There's a clip I'm thinking of, The Longest Yard. If anyone's seen that movie, Adam Sandler and those guys, Chris Rock, uh, dude throws one of the guys a ball. He's like, I had too much popcorn. I'm guessing the whole damn team had too much popcorn.
All right, let's see what you got. Hit me, I'm open. That's why. Now sit down and shut up.
It slipped. I just ate popcorn.
All the turnovers, fumbles, and things going on like that, man. Just ugly, ugly loss. We got the Cowboys next. Lord help us, because the Cowboys play us good. I won't be surprised if we lose this damn game too, because Dak and company are gonna come out there, guns are blazing, and I won't be surprised if the defense makes some plays happen against us. Even though they don't got Micah no more, I'm sure somebody gonna step up on the defense and make something happen. But this was an ugly loss, man, and could lead to bad news going forward. I hope we turn it around. I'll wear my Scary Terry jersey because please, we need him. I don't know how much of a difference he would have made, but he's definitely a leader on our team. And I just think him on the field, please, Terry, get healthy as soon as you can. We need you, Lord. Please, Terry. That's all I got on these clowns right now, though. Brandon, what are your thoughts?
Well, add this to another long list of week 6 picks that I got incorrect. Definitely was going with the Commanders, and y'all let me down. But y'all, in my opinion, y'all came out a little slow. It seemed like some of the same issues over the past seasons came back to haunt y'all: poor tackling and turnovers in the most critical moments. It seemed like Ed, you pretty much hit on everything else, but I'll say this: free safety number 20, Quan Martin,
Uh,
for your team. He had a couple shaky plays. They really hurt y'all in the end, in my opinion. The Caleb Williams touchdown, the Russian touchdown, it's going on that right side corner of the end zone. It was kind of like a do or die situation, damned if you do, damned if you don't, because he was trying to get that angle to push him out of bounds. But at the same time, when that runner is coming at you, they can either nowadays just stop on the dime and then go back inside, or they can cut that corner and get their hand on over the pylons. So that's what Caleb did. And then the DeAndre Swift touchdown, another missed tackle. The runner Swift, he juked him into the ground, and he ended up walking into the end zone for a touchdown. Not a good night for the former Illinois star. I will give y'all credit though. Y'all held Roma Dunze in check. I thought he was going to have a pretty good night against y'all. He's had a really good season, but he was held to only a pair of catches for like 32 yards, give or take. So yeah, great win for the Chicago Bears. They have a favorable schedule ahead. The next, you could say, quarter to 4 games for them. Home with the Saints, at Baltimore. That's the way we looking. That's probably going to be a win for them. At Cincinnati, and they host the Giants. And you know how New York play: up, up, down, up, down. So yeah, the Bears could be making some noise there in a crowded NFC North. A couple of these divisions really coming down to the. And I know it's early on, but they're looking really competitive early on. So yeah, good win for the Bears.
yeah. All right, let's get into this London matchup, shall we? The Broncos beat the Jets in a very sloppy game. Brandon, what are your thoughts on this one?
So did you know that you and I had more net passing yards than the Jets and Justin Fields did last Sunday in London? What a lousy offensive performance for the New York passing game. While it was a dominant defensive performance there for the winning team, the Denver Broncos. Talk about 9 sacks by the road team, led by Jonathan Cooper. He finished with a pair, led the team in that category. In fact, he closed out the game. Him and Jones, they had a split sack there on Justin Fields as the clock expired. I really love when defenses show up and play big in Denver. They certainly did in this one. The Broncos offense, though, in my opinion, they let the Jets stick around. I'm sure he's back in the lab. Sean Payton, he's probably back in the lab this week, telling his guys what they did wrong, how they could fix it, how they can get it, moving forward. One main issue was the turnover that they had, and they had more penalties than the Jets as well. So that helped keep the Jets around in this one. So yeah, I feel like the Jets moving forward, they need to get back to running the ball. They did that against Miami on, I believe it was Monday Night Football. I believe that was the first doubleheader for ESPN on Monday Night Football this year. They ran up and down the field on the Dolphins, and that seemed to be a recipe for success. They still, I think they lost that game, but they had more control of that game. Justin Fields is just not that pocket quarterback that other quarterbacks are in this league. So in my opinion, you just need to run the ball and hope that your defense can play a little tight, kind of like they did against the Broncos in this one, and maybe they can get their first win of the season. But they do have Carolina coming to town next week. So yeah, what are your thoughts on this one from across the pond, as you say?
Yeah, man. The main reason I wanted to even talk about this game, because of Aaron Glenn, head coach for the Jets. He's taking some heat right now from the media, especially the media. I mean, even in the game, he was getting criticized by Kurt Warner and Rich Eisen. I believe they were the ones on the call. Some questionable decision making, specifically right before the half, that 2 minute drill. I mean, they did a fake punt, went for it on 4th and 1. They got the conversion, but after that was a little bonehead, head scratching decision making there. Kurt Warner was confused by what was going on, and why would you call a timeout here, then run the ball after, or why would you not call a timeout here and the play calling there. Mike Greenberg, he's a host of Get Up. He's a big time Jets fan. He was basically saying that main reason the Jets stink is because they have terrible head coach, or not head coach, but terrible coaching. But that falls on Aaron Glenn. So I'm wondering how long he's going to last now. Even a couple of my boys in a group text I'm with was like, what the hell is Aaron Jones doing? He needs to be let go. Um, I was really expecting Aaron Glenn to come in here and turn things around for the Jets. I thought even that first game, even though they lost to the Steelers, Justin Fields looked good, but he hasn't had too many good performances lately. I mean, you said it. A dead man had more net passing yards than him. It was just really bad out there. They even asked Aaron Glenn after the game, is it trying to make a quarterback change? Should we, go with Tyrod Taylor? And Aaron kind of defended Justin Fields, but you do kind of think, like, you look at his numbers, he only threw for 45 yards, almost ran for more than he threw. Is getting to a point, man. You got to make something happen. You 0-6. At some point, the team will quit on you. That happens a lot, especially when they lose. Garrett Wilson, he's a great wide receiver, in my opinion. He's just getting salted away in New York. I mean, this is the second week in a row. I think you see him on the sideline, kind of frustrated, asking, what's going on? What are we doing? And it's just bad, man. I feel bad for the Jets. I'm not a Jets fan by any means, but I just feel bad for them. A couple of heartbreaking losses, and then you lose a game like this. You even have a chance to win it at the end. They almost got sacked more than points they had. I mean, just terrible, awful game for the Jets. Good win for the Broncos. I said it after the in our preview show. I was thinking I thought the Broncos would win this game, but I thought the Jets, because they were Broncos were favored by 7.5 points. It's just something I had a feeling that the Jets would make it a closer game. They certainly did, and they almost had a chance to win it again. But good win for the Broncos. Bo Nix, doing what he needs to do to win games. Good for them. But the Jets, Aaron Glenn, I think your seat is getting a little warm. Hopefully, I'm hoping he gets the chance to make it out, just ride the season out. I doubt they'll bring Justin Fields back. I think they're going to stink so bad that they'll probably have a top 3 pick and get a quarterback. Maybe, get something in free agency, get what Aaron Glenn wants, and we'll see what he does with that. But if it keeps going like this, where people are questioning your decision making, I don't know if he'll make it through the season, but we'll see how that goes.
Well, and I'm not sure if you noticed or not, but Rich Eisen is just as big of a Jets fan as Mike Greenberg as well. He doesn't make it as known, probably because he's so high in his job, and possibly as well because they've been losing for so long. but he is a Jets fan as well. All right. Atlanta Falcons won their second home game of 2025. This one was a 24-14 victory over the Bills. Ed, how much of this game did you see with your game starting an hour later?
I watched a good portion of the first half. Salute to Bijan Robinson, man. I had him as my predicted him to be the offensive player of the year. Had a huge run, 81 yards, longest run of his career. Overall, 170 yards on the ground, 68 yards through the air. Dynamic weapon. I can call him a nuclear weapon, in my opinion. I want to give a shout out to that Falcons pass rush. They were getting after Josh Allen. Every time I watch Josh Allen play, I get so frustrated because it's like the defense has an opportunity to like get him or hit him, and he always seems to like wiggle out of it, shake a tackle, make a play, throw the ball away, even throw a completion. He didn't have too many of those type of plays last night though. The Falcons were getting after him, applying pressure on him. Even the drive towards the end of the game where they close it out, they were marching down the field. They were down 10 points, trying to make something happen. But the Falcons pass rush was getting after him. Josh Allen threw the ball, got tipped by a Falcons defender, then it was picked off by another defender. That pretty much closed the game out. Kind of shocked. I thought the game would be a little close. I didn't think the Falcons were going to win, but I thought it would be a contest. But after that first half, I think they were up 21-7, if I'm not mistaken. I was like, you know what? I think the Falcons are going to win this, man, because that defense really showed up. I'm kind of concerned about the Bills. I think they lost 2 in a row now. The freaking Patriots now are in the lead in the AFC East. They're number 1 now because of this. So I'm kind of concerned with the Bills. They're going to the bye. They'll have a chance to, turn things around. But that offense, I don't know. Josh Allen only 180 yards, 2 interceptions. James Cook did have 87 yards on the ground, but it wasn't enough. So I'm wondering what the Bills are going to do to change things around. And same for that defense. I mean, it's going to be hard for anyone to stop Bijan Robinson. And I didn't even mention Drake London, but you see when his name flashes across the screen here, had a hell of a game. What the Bills defense is going to do going forward. But the Falcons, they beat us. I mean, that might not be saying much lately, but they beat the Bills. It could be a statement win. We'll see how they look. The NFC South is another division. You talking about divisions heating up. NFC South, you got the Bucks. The freaking Panthers are 3-3, and the Falcons are making noise. We'll see how this division turns out. But yeah, man, great win for the Falcons. Brandon, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, real quick, let's talk about these AFC divisions. I saw something today. It's kind of funny you mentioned it. The Patriots, the Steelers, the Colts, and the Chargers, excuse me, are all leading the divisions right now. It feels like it's 2007. That was the last time all 4 of these teams were leading their divisions this late in the year. But back to this game, it was. I saw the very beginning of this one. It seemed like Atlanta had control from the start. They set the tone that opening drive, going 69 yards in just 5 plays. I know it was early. It just seemed like Buffalo lost control in the first quarter. On their second drive, to be particular, they had a sideline catch by Shakir. It looked like a great catch, but you could definitely see the ground like come up the little pebbles or whatever on the play, and then when they zoomed in, excuse me, you could see where one foot was in and the other foot was on the paint. Uh, the call was overturned. Atlanta had challenged it just in time, and they ended up having to punt the ball away to the Falcons, and Atlanta responded with another touchdown drive. I don't know if y'all know or heard this. Heading into last season, everyone was talking about how Bijan Robinson was going to have a role like Christian McCaffrey. It never worked out last season because they had the quarterback issues with Kirk Cousins. They had a little bit of offensive line issues, and then Michael Penix Jr. was just coming in and getting his feet wet. But this year, he's definitely Mr. Do It All. 19 carries for 170 yards and a touchdown. He also hauled in 6 catches for 68 yards. Those are Christian McCaffrey type stats, everyone. It's hard to stop a team when your running back is making those type of plays, that type of production at that position. And then again, you mentioned Drake London had a hell of a game. Your boy Kirk Cousins used to throw to Mooney all the time. It seems like Michael Penix Jr. likes Drake London. On the other side, though, we got to start talking about Josh Allen and his turnovers in these losses. He had 2 interceptions. He also put the ball on the ground twice. They also had turnovers last week as well that led to that loss. It's like Buffalo needs him to be Superman to win. And I know they have a really talented roster, but this is what we're seeing now the last 2 weeks. The equivalence is turnovers with him specifically. But yeah, both of these divisions getting heating up very well, looking very interesting. It'll be fun to watch as the season progresses. Good win for Atlanta. Bad for me and my picks. Again, I picked the Bills, but gotta keep on keeping on, like I said at the top of the show. All right,
Yeah. Uh,
let's turn to some player awards. Offensive ace of the week. Who you got, Ed?
yeah, I got to give it to Rico Dowdle. Revenge game for him. 30 carries, 183 yards, scored a touchdown in the air as well against his old team, the Cowboys. So Rico Dowdle is my offensive player of the week.
Our guy Deion Sanders used to say Cam, oh Cam, when he was on TV on NFL Network, and he was talking about Cam Newton. But I'm gonna talk about Cam Scatterbo, the Giants running back, 19 carries for 98 yards, just tough running against his divisional opponent, the Philadelphia Eagles, and a very good defense. 3 touchdowns. He also hauled in 2 catches for 12 yards as well. Cam Scatterbo. How about the defensive side of the ball? Who you giving the award to?
Speaking of Cam Scatterbo, I was playing against him in fantasy football this week. He freaking killed me with those damn 3 touchdowns. But back to the defensive player of the week. I'm going to give it to Nick Herbig, edge rusher for the Pittsburgh Steelers, had 2 sacks against the Browns, just causing havoc all over the field. So let me give it to Nick Herbig for the Steelers. How about you?
They have some good linebackers there in Pittsburgh. I'm not looking forward to our 2 matchups coming up against them. Um, Plenty of Rams defenders I could give this to, but I'm gonna go to a surprise to one of my defenders, defensive tackle John Jenkins. 3 tackles. He had a sack, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery all in the same play. Um, kind of like got the crowd back into it. Got us feeling like we got a defense again. Great play. Reminded us of Michael Pierce last year when he had the interception. He stumbled for a couple yards and kneeled on it against the Steelers. Got to give respect to the big men when they make those plays on defense. John Jenkins, defensive tackle of the Baltimore Ravens. How about a special teams player of the week, Ed?
I should probably give it to the damn kicker for the Bears, Jake Moody, but I'm gonna give it to Dicker, the kicker, Cameron Dicker. The Chargers went 5 for 5, had that game-winning field goal against the Dolphins as well. So Cameron Dicker, kicker for the Chargers, is my special team players of the week. What about you?
So I originally had the Panthers kicker Ryan Fitzgerald. He had the game winning from field goal from 33. But then I saw that um, the Packers had a new kicker because Brandon McManus was banged up. His
Mm-hmm.
name is Lucas Havrasik. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Last Friday, he was a substitute teacher in the classroom, literally. Came in for a workout after work, got a contract the next day. He was perfect on Sunday. 2 field goals, 3 extra points from lesson plans to game plans. How about a bonehead call or play of the week, Ed?
You kind of touched on it earlier for me, the Colts game. Not only did Anthony Richardson get injured in you know pregame warmups, but Charvarius Ward got injured too. Now I'm not blaming Charvarius Ward or Anthony Richardson or any of the Colts players for the injuries they suffered during that pregame warmup. I'm blaming it mostly on like the Colts as a unit. What the hell
Yep.
are we doing? I mean, you look at that Charvarius Ward one. He's out there practicing on the field, doing his drills. You got the tight end coming in off the sideline. He's doing his drill, catching passes too. Why are they in the same proximity, working out and doing things like that, where he gets laid the hell out by the tight end, who people out there making it seem like he did it on purpose, or they didn't. I guess they didn't really see when you look at the clip. You can't tell that the tight end is also working on his drills, catching a ball too, because he was catching a ball at the same time Charvarius Ward was catching a different ball. They were just in the same area. So I mean, what the hell is going on with the Colts in the pregame warmups? First is your backup quarterback, his damn eye. He might be out multiple weeks with a damn orbital injury, whatever the hell happened to him. and then Charvarius Ward literally gets knocked the hell out, and he's out with a damn concussion now. So come on, coach, get it together, man. Set up the pregame warm-ups correctly. Jesus Christ. Brandon, what you got for Bonehead move player of the week?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the college ranks. I gotta figure out who it was. Um, hold on, y'all. Let's see. It was a it's playing on your screen, but I had to figure out who it was. Let's see. I can't even tell. But anyway, the punter for the team, he was going to punt and then he kneeled trying to catch a low ball and they ended up calling it a turnover on downs. Um, accidentally took a knee on a punt. Never seen anything like that before. That's my bonehead um, play of the week from the college ranks.
Mm, mm, mm. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into these other games that happened in week 6. Of course, Thursday night football, we had the Giants shocking in my opinion, win 34-17 over the Eagles. Rams beat the Ravens 17-3. Patriots beat the Saints 25-19. Seahawks over the Jaguars 20-12. Steelers beat the Browns 23-9. Raiders finally win a game again 20-10 over the Titans. Packers beat the Bengals 27-18. And the Bucks beat the 49ers 30-19. Of course, we also had the Chiefs beating the Lions 30-17 in Sunday night football. Brandon, what are your thoughts of these other games of week 6?
Um, Steelers and the Browns. The Pittsburgh defense is back, ladies and gentlemen. Jalen Ramsey had himself a really good game. You mentioned the linebacker earlier. Um, they have some really good linebackers. This defense looks really good. I know it was the Browns. I'm
Right.
aware, but they look really good, and they've looked good since probably week 2 this year. Raiders and the Titans, despite the win, Geno Smith, he's thrown double digit interceptions. He's the first to reach that this year. And it's only October 14th, ladies and gentlemen. They're in for a long season out there in Las Vegas. Packers, Bengals for the Cincinnati team. New quarterback, same result, another loss. Thank you, Green Bay, for holding on and winning this one. Bucks and 49ers. I know Fred Warner left in this one. It kind of impacted this game a little bit. Bake, he lost Mecca Buka. He was already without his top 2 receivers. He was throwing to Tez Johnson and a couple other guys that we've never heard of. Still my front runner for MVP. I didn't used to like Baker. I thought he was cocky and stuff. But since he's gone to Tampa Bay, I've kind of got a you know, low key love and respect him. I hope he wins this MVP because he is playing some damn good football right now. San Fran, 13 straight games without an interception on defense is kind of surprising with all the playmakers they've had back there. But that's the longest streak in NFL history. And I can't let the show come to an end in a few minutes without talking about Rams, Ravens. Cooper Rush, he needs to be shipped back to Dallas, please. First class mail overnight, something, please. But the defense on the other side of the field, they played really good, in my opinion. They held this Rams offense to only 17 points. Matthew Stafford really couldn't find lanes. I know Devontae Adams dropped a good 3 or 4 passes out there. Plus, Puka Nakua did leave for a good amount of the game. But bad offensive play calling doomed us in the end. We had those 2 tush push plays on the goal line, didn't go anywhere with Mark Andrews. And then they decided to run Derrick Henry on the left side of the offensive line of all sides. They could have ran up the middle. They could have ran literally straight into Linderbaum's backside and had a better chance of that. They could have ran to the right side. They could have ran out to the right any damn way but that left side with Note Boom and Voorhees of all people. Just pathetic. Okay. And then they wonder why the play got blown up in the backfield. The second quarter turnover on downs after Rush overthrew Zay. That was a fourth and 3, I believe it was. We called timeout, came out of the play, and he still couldn't make a play. Like, you get an extra 30 seconds to talk to your coordinator, talk to your coaches, talk to whoever, your receivers, whatever, and you still can't make a play. It just it drives me crazy. But yeah, I'm praying for better results after the bye week. We're really good coming off the bye. I'll talk about this in what about 13 days or so on our next week on our Week 8 preview show. But yeah, which of these games caught your attention?
Sorry, you're not gonna like this, but they ain't really catch my attention. But the Patriots beating the Saints, another game for Drake May. He did pretty good out there. They're 4-2, as I mentioned earlier. Number
Yeah.
one in the AFC East now. Now the talk of the town. Of course, the Titans fired their coach. They're talking about Mike Vrabel again. So I know you don't like that, but Patriots looking like they're kind of legit. We'll see how it goes the rest of the season. I was very interested to see how the Jaguars would look after they beat the Chiefs, and they lost
Yeah.
20-12 to the Seahawks. I wasn't really
It was
surprised,
flat.
but I was interested to see like, okay, what are they gonna do now? But they couldn't follow it up. That's the NFL, a lot of parity going on. Like you talked about the Bucks Niners game. Baker had Sterling Shepard, Tez Johnson. I think Cade Otton was out there too, but he's not without. He didn't have McMillan, the rookie wide receiver last year. He hasn't played yet. Mike Evans hasn't came back yet. I think Godwin got hurt again. So I mean, he's definitely playing with some banged up guys and bench players and things like that. So salute to Baker getting it done. He had a pretty good run. I think it was like a 3rd and 15, breaking a tackle from a D lineman and scrambling. Definitely ways to rally to get your team in the positions to win games. I got to go back to that Thursday night game. I really did not expect the Giants to beat the Eagles the way they did, especially with Cam Scatterbo. I talked about it after the game, trucking Zach Bond, just mowing over players. Giants, man, not looking forward to play them when we play them again, man. It could be, the Eagles were without Jalen Carter and Quinion Mitchell did get hurt, but we'll see how that goes. And then the Steelers and the Browns, man. I know Browns fans, especially now that Shador definitely has a better opportunity to play, but I really think Dylan Gabriel needs a few more games before we think about putting Shador Sanders in. I mean, Dylan is a rookie himself. You got to give him time to go out there and grow, in my opinion. So I don't know, maybe you could put Shador late in the game, but even then, Dylan Gabriel is a rookie. He needs as much time as he can out there on the field. And I mean, just let's be honest, like you said, it's the Browns. It wasn't all on Dylan Gabriel. Jerry Jeudy was dropping passes. Njoku, he got hurt. Didn't have a lot around him. The Steelers shut down the run. Quinshaw Junkins didn't do nothing out there. So it wasn't all on Dylan Gabriel. But I think he needs a little bit more opportunities out there, a few more games. If he keeps playing bad, maybe we go to Shador Sanders. But Dylan's a rookie, man. You got to give him a fair shake, in my opinion, before we decide to throw Shador Sanders in there. And I'm rooting for Shador. I want to see him play, but Dylan deserves a fair shake out there. And then the Raiders Titans, Callahan, I think his father, Bill Callahan, he's no longer with the team too since his son got canned. I'll see if he'll go off into the sunset, get retired, or retire, or if he'll try to lash him to another team. We'll see. But Callahan, I mean, first he had to deal with the sorry ass Mayo boy mayonnaise sponsorship, Will Levis. He gets Cam Ward, and just I think it was the first game he didn't realize that an elbow means that's 2 feet down. He didn't challenge the call, and just coaching decisions did him in. So, dang, that's tough. And we'll see how the Raiders do. They win the game again. Hopefully, they get Brock Bowers back in the next few weeks, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, man, definitely another week of parity in the NFL.
You may think it's too soon for Shador Sanders to come in, but Jalen Ramsey didn't think so. Did you see
That's
the
true.
sack on? Did you see the sack on Dylan Gabriel? He got up and pointed to Shador. He was like, "You need to get in, okay? Something need to change here." But that is a very hard place to play. Um, the Steelers, and I've said it before, the Steelers, the Patriots, and the Ravens are 3 of the best teams against rookie quarterbacks. And what team did Dylan Gabriel play on Sunday? The Steelers. You're right. Give him a little bit more time. That was again a very tough place to play. The grass there is really bad, and I forgot to put into the opening drive that they're changing the field at the
Oh yeah,
stadium because they had what they had a something happened and it brought their attention. But like Steelers fans were even commenting online saying that Jeff Reed was saying this back in 2003 or so. But Jeff Reed ain't played in years, okay, and he's brought this to y'all's attention. Y'all still haven't done anything, and not too long after Heinz Field was built. Now they got a new sponsor and a new name, but it's been bad. But yeah, very tough place to play. Let Dylan play a little bit more. Um, figure things out before you get Shador in there and ruin his career. Cleveland, like they like to do.
Yeah, man, you gotta give Gabriel a fair shake, man. Just see what happens. I don't know if you saw. You probably would have liked this if you see it. Him and Dylan Gabriel and Patrick Queen. I don't know if you saw
Yeah.
Patrick Queen try to make the sack on him, and the Dylan
Yep.
Gabriel kind of like yanked him up by his helmet. Patrick
Yep.
Queen, I saw him tweet after the game. He said, "I didn't want to do anything because I didn't want to put my team in a bad position by getting a penalty. But if I see him outside, but if I see him outside, we're definitely gonna have to talk about that." So. Yeah, can't wait for them to play again. See how that goes. But yeah,
True.
that was funny.
Hey, Mike Thomas said them roots run deep, man. He talking about the AFC North, man. They roots
And he
run
caught
deep.
up Andrew Berry too. Talking about them
Yes.
trading away Joe
Yep.
Flacco.
hmm Yeah. And they like Steelers fans were saying that Mike Tomlin doesn't always he's not big for calling other people out, calling other teams out. So they was like, that must have really got under his skin. But he got a lot of respect for Joe Flacco. He's had a lot of respect for him over the years. It didn't really make sense, even though Cincinnati probably is not going to make the playoffs. I thought that they had enough after Joe Burrow got. I thought that Jake Browning was going to be enough. He wasn't. They
Yeah,
looked a little bit better with Joe Flacco, but to trade in your division is at the quarterback position the most probably important position of all. And like Thomas said, a position where they were struggling at. So now you give them a bonus. Doesn't really make sense.
yeah. And one
But
more
it is
thing,
the NFL.
speaking of trades, there was a trade with cornerbacks between the Jaguars and the Browns.
Yeah.
Tyson Campbell and I think Greg Newsome
Yeah.
got traded. Both of them gave up plays. Both of them got burnt for touchdowns. So I'm sure I'm sure both teams was like, yeah, well, that's why we traded him away. The other team was like, yeah, well, that's why we traded him away. So I'm sorry, Tyson Campbell and Greg Newsome. I just remember that when you talk about trades.
And one more thing, speaking of trades, I didn't say it on air, but I was thinking, man, Adafe always going to go out to
I
Los
got
Angeles and
I was gonna
thrive.
text me.
I thought he was going to thrive out there because he had better. He has Khalil Mack, and I'm not sure if he's back yet. Derwin James. He got some playmakers out there, and sure enough, he had a sack in the first game.
I was gonna text me. Like your boy just got a sack. I was like, nah, I'm a little live. I'm a little live.
No damn production for us, but he went out there and had a sack. But he had a good season last year. But like I said, he just wasn't producing this year. He's in a contract year. He was on the odds. He was the odd man out anyway because they still got to sign Likely.
Mhm.
Trying to think. Likely LJ was due for an extension. I'm not sure how they're going to work that out now. And it's somebody else. Linderbaum got to get paid too. But yeah, best of luck to Adafe Owe. It just didn't work out in Baltimore. David Ajobo needs to go next. However the hell you pronounce his name, your former boy from Michigan, he needs to go. The next edge rusher got to go is him. We'll talk more about that later on sometime. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching our Week 6 NFL recap show. Week 7 begins in the jungle. Classic AFC North matchup. Steelers and Bengals makes me think back to Joey Porter and was it Vontez Burfict? A couple other guys. Man, that's another low key good rivalry there. Can't wait to see that one. Please hit the subscribe button on your screen. Follow us on X at Podcast BNE and on IG at BNE Podcast. Several other key matchups to look forward to this weekend. We'll be back Friday to preview our favorites. Until next time, love one another.